The life and legacy of Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson was born in Staunton, Virginia, in 1856, into a deeply religious family. His father was a Presbyterian minister, which influenced Wilson's moral outlook and disciplined upbringing. The family moved frequently, shaping his adaptable nature and broad perspectives. Wilson's education began at home, and he later attended Davidson College. He transferred to Princeton University, where he graduated in 1879. His academic achievements continued at the University of Virginia Law School and Johns Hopkins University, where he earned a Ph.D. Wilson's career as a professor blossomed at Bryn Mawr College, Wesleyan University, and Princeton University. He became known for his engaging lectures and scholarly contributions, particularly in political science. His tenure as Princeton's president marked significant educational reforms. In 1885, Wilson married Ellen Axon, with whom he had 3 daughters. Ellen's support was crucial to his career. After her death, he married Edith Balling Galt. His personal life was marked by deep familial bonds and intellectual companionship. Wilson's entry into politics began with his election as governor of New Jersey in 1910. His progressive policies and reformative zeal quickly earned him national recognition. His success in New Jersey paved the way for his presidential ambitions. Woodrow Wilson's tenure as governor of New Jersey was marked by progressive reforms addressing corruption and advancing social justice. He championed measures like direct primaries, workmen's compensation, and regulatory oversight, laying the groundwork for his future national policies and presidential ambitions. In the 1912 presidential campaign, Wilson emerged as a reform-minded candidate, running on the Democratic platform of New Freedom. His focus on antitrust modification, tariff reduction, and banking reform resonated with voters, ultimately leading to his election as the 28th president. Wilson's first term saw significant domestic policy achievements, including the establishment of the Federal Reserve System. This central banking system aimed to stabilize the economy, regulate the money supply, and prevent the financial panics that had plagued the nation. The Federal Reserve Act of 1913 was a cornerstone of Wilson's economic policy. It created a central banking system with regional reserve banks, providing a more flexible and secure financial structure for the United States, promoting economic stability. The Clayton Antitrust Act, signed in 1914, strengthened antitrust laws and protected labor unions from being prosecuted as monopolies. This legislation aimed to curb monopolistic practices and foster fair competition, solidifying Wilson's commitment to progressive economic reforms. In his second term, Wilson faced the immense challenge of World War I. Initially committed to neutrality, he later led the U.S. into the conflict in 1917, citing the need to safeguard democracy and respond to unrestricted submarine warfare by Germany. Wilson articulated his vision for post-war peace in the 14-point speech, delivered in 1918. This ambitious plan aimed to address the root causes of the war, advocating for self-determination, free trade, and the establishment of a League of Nations to prevent future conflicts. The League of Nations was central to Wilson's vision for a lasting peace. Despite his efforts, the U.S. Senate ultimately rejected joining the League, dealing a significant blow to Wilson's international aspirations and highlighting the challenges of garnering domestic support for global commitments. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, formally ended World War I. Wilson played a vital role in the negotiations, but the treaty's harsh terms imposed on Germany sowed seeds of future discord. The U.S. Senate's refusal to ratify the treaty added to his setbacks. Post-war domestic challenges included economic instability and social unrest. Wilson's administration struggled with labor strikes, racial tensions, and the Red Scare, which fueled fears of communism. These issues, alongside his health problems, significantly impacted his leadership during this turbulent period. Woodrow Wilson's health began to decline during his second term, culminating in a severe stroke in October 1919. This stroke left him partially paralyzed and significantly impacted his ability to govern, leading to a power struggle within his administration. Despite his compromised health, Wilson remained resolute in his vision for a post-war world. He continued to advocate for the League of Nations, although his incapacitation raised questions about his ability to effectively lead the nation through its many challenges. Wilson's legacy includes significant contributions to international relations, especially his efforts to establish the League of Nations. His 14 points laid the groundwork for modern diplomacy, promoting self-determination and collective security as cornerstones of international peace. However, Wilson's presidency was not without controversy. Critics argue that his idealism sometimes overshadowed practical considerations, leading to strained relationships with Congress and other world leaders. His domestic policies also faced criticism, particularly his stance on civil rights and racial segregation. After leaving office, Wilson lived a relatively quiet life, largely due to his health issues. He remained a figure of historical significance, with his presidency continuing to be studied and debated. His death in 1924 marked the end of an era in American politics. After leaving the presidency, he retired to a quiet life in Washington, D.C., focusing on writing and reflection. He continued to advocate for the League of Nations, although his influence had waned significantly. His health remained fragile following his stroke. He passed away on February 3, 1924, and was buried at the Washington National Cathedral. His legacy remains complex, marked by his progressive reforms and controversial stances. Historians continue to debate his impact on both domestic and international affairs.